Nope, she has to have him. Gotta have him
I
right there.
I don't get that at all.
So she
I
can
Because then
ask, "Do you like this smell?" And he'll be like,
no,
"No." And she'll be like, "I'm getting it."
that's right.
That's
And then
right.
if I was Chris would just be like, "What's this? I don't know what this is." And I'm just
Hmm.
like, I don't have time to answer your stupid questions. I don't.
Here's stupid makeup questions. I don't have
I
time
know
for
I know
them.
you don't know what a lip liner is. I get it, but like
But
I don't want to
I,
explain it to
I
you.
was gonna say I'm also not here to like explain it.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Blair.
And I'm Kirsten, and we are
Mediocre
mediocre
content.
content. And it is a sleepy day, so apologies in advance for the lower
Yeah,
energy.
this is your ASMR
Oh God, I hate it. I cannot stand ASMR unless it's like those soap crunchy ones or like
I
slime.
Oh, I love ASMR. Oh my
Oh,
God.
God. Like the talking. You love all of it? I can't hear
I
you
don't like
now.
the I
There you
don't
go.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I like
It like tunes you out when you try to do
No!
it.
Oh my God.
It's
Okay,
like too
fine.
low.
All
Maybe
right.
it thinks it's background noise. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Thanks for not being able to torture me.
Well, I like ASMR as well. And
Mm,
I do like the soap ones. I like the
mm.
tapping with the long nails.
Oh.
I also really like I like the talking. I don't like the eating ones though. The
Ugh.
slurping and stuff, that gives
Ugh.
me trauma. I don't like that.
That also gives me like the ick
The
so
ick.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thank you. Well, on that note, yeah, it's just I'm feeling really tired today because of the weather. It's raining, it's storming, it's windy, and it's so cozy in the house right now.
Cozy vibes.
Cozy vibes. So, but
And
that's
Kirsten
okay.
has like a laser light show going on behind her.
I do. I'm trying new things, okay?
She's trying new things.
These are the starlights from Florida that I had. And then
Nice.
I went to Walmart right before this because I got a new light. And so I got that too. And we'll see if it
I
stays
think it
or
looks
not.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I almost wish I had like a black background or something to
Hmm.
like the black sheet. I might just get a sheet and hang it up or something.
I might just get a green screen and then every week I'll just be in a different place.
On a different planet. See, this is topical, however, because my back looks like a galaxy and it's very appropriate for today's
That's true.
episode.
It's true.
So,
I'm just gonna be like reporting live from Paris or it's like something like that. And then there's like the Eiffel Tower and the green screen. It'll be great.
honestly, I support that. You'd have to get one wide enough for your screen, though.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It can't be that hard.
No, there's plenty of people that do it for sure. Okay.
All right. So let's see. Getting into the disclaimer, obviously we're not experts on anything.
Mm-mm.
Did you get, since this is another solar system one, did you get your information from NASA again?
I sure did. I called them up and asked a bunch of questions. I'm just kidding. No, I just went to their website. But yes, I did get it from NASA's website.
You have a direct contact at
Yeah.
NASA.
They heard the moon episode and they're like, this girl.
She needs us.
She needs.
All all right. Well, so obviously come here if you want to hang out and have a nice time and talk about fun things, but don't come here if you want to base your research paper on this topic. Okay?
You would fail horridly.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, maybe not horribly. I think we do like at least a D. Just in terms of like citing your sources and all that stuff.
D minus at best.
Okay. All right. So not an F.
Not an F. No,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, we'll take it.
All right. So with that, I'm going to take it away with the good news.
Please, I'd love to know what you have in store for us.
Okay. So I have gotten the two stories you're about to hear from CNN.com. So it is possible that they have some positive news on that website.
Very
So
interesting.
everybody just, look out for that.
Do a little clap.
The first story is on Big Mac sauce. Now,
Okay.
are you a fan of Big Macs? Do you frequent the McDonald's drive-through?
I frequent the McDonald's drive-through. However, Tyler likes Big Macs. I'm not a huge fan.
Okay.
It's
All
too
right.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, have you at least had one? You know, the
No,
sauce and everything?
I've
No, you've
never
never
had
had
one.
one.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, on the Big Mac, there's this special sauce, and it's
Mhm.
like, I think it's basically just Thousand Island dressing. Like, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
But McDonald's has announced changes to its signature burgers earlier in the week,
Oh,
um, including adding more Big Mac sauce. So basically, now they're giving away individual cartons of Big Mac sauce if you order online. Starting next week for a limited time, customers who order through the app will be able to get Big Mac sauce in a dip cup.
for their
Um,
burger?
so no, you can just get it like straight up. So you can get it
Oh,
with your nuggets and stuff too.
interesting. Okay.
Yes. And in a nod to the original blue and silver Big Mac packaging, the dip
Hmm.
cup is blue and it has like silver and blue top.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cute. Okay.
it is cute. While this is the first time the sauce will be available in this form, it is not the first time McDonald's has given customers a chance at more sauce. Back in 2017, they gave away 10,000 bottles of Big Mac sauce to enthusiastic fans.
Sauce me up.
That's right. That's right. Dipping sauces, which don't require employees to add any ingredients to the burgers or make a whole new menu item. It's a great way to just like drum up excitement
That's
about the
fair.
products
Yeah.
without like minimal work, right? Minimal learning.
Hmm.
Um, Last year, McDonald's brought back its Szechuan sauce for a limited time, and some celebrity meals also came with rebranded dipping sauces or ones that had previously only been available in certain regions. So
Hmm.
it's also, driving traffic through the app, so it's a good like strategic thing to do.
Yeah. They,
What's up?
I think maybe it was in Florida. This was like after a hurricane, I think, and slash COVID. So it was like everything was on lockdown. And so we
Mhm.
drove like an hour and a half down the road to this McDonald's. And it was around the time when they had released their spicy chicken nuggets.
Ooh.
They, I know, they were so good. And they had this hot sauce. I forget what it's called, but I have never seen it again. And I wish they would bring that back because it made, like, first of all, you know how some hot sauce is like just hot in your face, but it has zero
Yeah,
flavor?
right.
This had the most amazing flavor, plus the heat, plus the chicken nugget spicy. It just was like, the most amazing McDonald's chicken nuggets I think we've ever had. And I'm super sad because I cannot figure out what that sauce was. And I'm really sad about it. And she's frozen. There she is.
Oh, good. Okay.
But yeah, it
I was so wait, you were saying you said plus the heat, plus the flavor.
was
It
amazing.
was a generally good sauce. Is that what you said?
Yeah. And I don't know if they're going to come back with it.
I don't know. But like, so another way for McDonald's to promote its core items is actually, hold on. I lost my place. Give me one moment.
You're
Let me
fine.
redo. Okay. So McDonald's said that it's making a series of changes to the Big Mac and the McDouble burger, as well as the classic cheeseburger, double cheeseburger, and hamburger. The changes include softer buns, gooier cheese, sus, and adding onions to the patties right
Gooey
on the
cheese. Uh,
um and adding more Big Mac sauce to the actual sandwich. In 2018, McDonald's announced that it was switching to fresh beef for its quarter pounders, and in 2021, it launched a crispy chicken sandwich to replace previous iterations.
which the crispy chicken sandwich is actually super amazing if you haven't had it. If you get the deluxe version with like the lettuce and
Mm-hmm.
tomato on it, it's
Mm-hmm.
bomb.
Well, they got to keep up with Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. I mean,
That's fair.
honestly.
Yeah, I guess so.
So this is my thought on that because I
Okay.
think it's a lovely idea. And as someone who's a huge fan of sauces in general, like I'm a
Mm,
ketchup, I love ketchup. I love like
mm-hmm.
barbecue sauce. I love all the,
Mm-hmm.
condiments. Um, I feel like they missed the mark here because you know how
Oh.
Chick-fil-A markets Chick-fil-A sauce and you can buy like a bottle in the store.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like there's Chick-fil-A sauce is like world renowned. Well, I don't know. If you don't have Chick-fil-A, I'm sorry. Just go with me
Dang,
here.
you just lost the
Um,
chance.
but like I feel like McDonald's could do what Chick-fil-A is doing, but they're choosing not to instead. And I guess the limited edition is like more appealing, but I don't know. I just feel like they could do better. I don't know. Or
I could see that.
conspiracy theory,
Mm.
Big Mac sauce is actually just Thousand Island dressing, and
And
people
this
would
is
just buy
super
that instead.
successful. They would never say that though.
No, they would never say that.
Yeah. You can actually buy Tyler buys the Chick-fil-A honey mustard in the store.
I
Like you can
know.
buy
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
Chick-fil-A sauce
saying.
in grocery stores. But you know what? As far as I can tell, McDonald's is all about the one-hit wonders because they've got those spicy nuggets, which I have yet to see again since then, even outside of
True.
the sauce. Uh, our McDonald's recently did a collab with a couple of celebrities. It was like their McDonald's meal with like
Oh yeah, I know
whatever.
Cardi B and
Yeah,
Offset did one like that.
exactly. And then you never hear about it again. So I feel like it's like a quick way to make like bank and then they're like, okay, on to the next. And then they're just silent for a
Yeah,
little while and then they just bring the hype back with something random again, but it never lasts.
that's
So,
true. That's true.
Chick-fil-A is all about your
Yeah,
pleasure, you know?
that's true. You're right. You're
McDonald's
right.
does not care.
Yeah, and there's that whole controversy with the McRib thing, which I've never had a McRib. I don't plan on ever having a McRib, but like
I'm
they
not
brought it
either,
back and
but
then they took it
what's
away and then they brought it back again. I don't really know.
Oh, is that the controversy? They
Yeah,
just
because
keep
everyone
flip-flopping?
like loves it so much. And then so they
Oh,
brought it back and then I don't know, I think took it away again. I don't know.
now I kind of want to have one just for the sake of like knowing what the hype is.
I don't know.
I'll make a rib.
Um
Ugh.
yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I thought it was good news because it's just like a fun
It is
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I've never had their Big Mac socks, but I'm gonna take your word and say
I
it's
think
just
it's
Thousand
pretty
Island
good.
dressing.
I think I'm pretty sure it is. Like let me know in the comments if you do a taste test, but like the last time I checked, I'm pretty sure that's like exactly what it is.
Nice.
So anyway, our next one is about IKEA.
Ooh,
Everyone's favorite furniture store.
it tests all the relationships.
Yes. So IKEA is planning to spend 2 billion, I don't know what that is. 2 point 2.19 billion dollars. I don't know, 2
I think it's
billion
Euro.
euro?
I think so.
Is it? Okay. Sure. To land its furniture to expand its furniture empire in the United States. And what retailers are saying is the biggest investment in a single country ever.
That's weird. I feel like I see IKEAs very frequently,
Yeah, so
and they're huge.
they are
So,
huge. That is
yeah.
correct. So they're only adding, let's see. So they're only adding 8 new locations.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um so and it would create 2,000 jobs, which is
Okay.
exciting. That's
Yeah.
good. And IKEA also has these things called plan and order points, which are basically aimed at customers who want to speak with a consultant on how to design their homes,
Ooh,
which is cool. I didn't
that
know that
is
they had
cool.
that. So the exact location of the new 8 retail stores have not been decided,
Mm-hmm.
but the company intends to build up its presence on the east and west coasts and invest more in the south of the country, which I think makes sense because I've always ever seen them like in the northeast where you are
Yeah.
or, on the west coast.
Yep. Yep.
Um so they say more than ever before we want to increase the density of our presence in the US, ramp up our fulfillment capacities and make our range even more relevant to local customers' needs and dreams.
Hmm.
The company already has 51 stores and two plan and order points in America. And new IKEA locations not covered by the 2 billion investment are set to open in San Francisco, California, Arlington, and Virginia over or San Francisco, California, and Arlington, Virginia over the summer.
That's great. My mom is gonna love that.
Yeah.
They were just in
Founded.
Arlington like yesterday.
Yeah, it's a good, I think that's a good location,
I think
honestly.
so, yeah. Hmm.
Um, and also, well, that's not true. I guess it's technically in San Jose. I was gonna say
Hmm.
there's kind of one already near San Francisco, but they could probably
Oh,
use another one.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, so founded in Sweden in 1943, IKEA is the world's largest furniture retailer with a presence in 31 countries. Stores today are operated as franchises. And let's see, and it is expected that the United States is going to overtake Germany as IKEA's biggest market in terms of sales.
I didn't know Germany was the biggest market for IKEA.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't
incredible.
know that either.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm very excited about this.
I like
I
IKEA
really
furniture.
I do
Yeah.
too. I think it's affordable and like I honestly I don't the first place I look when I'm looking for furniture is
Hmm.
IKEA.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
even because I know it's going to be reasonably priced and I
Yeah.
know that I'll be getting sometimes it's hit or miss. It just depends on what you buy, right?
That's the
But
thing. Yeah.
but I would rather look there than like an Ashley furniture store
Well,
because all that stuff looks garbage.
the thing is, no offense to Ashley, I'm sure there's stands, right? But I feel like the larger furniture retailer stores overall, like Ashley, Rooms to Go, here the
Mhm.
brand is Cardi's, like I think overall, the prices that you pay for the furniture there are astronomical for essentially IKEA quality. And that's
Yeah.
what really bothers me. And that's not a slight to IKEA either. It's affordable. We
Yeah.
had a lot of it initially when we first moved in together after college because it was affordable. For the most part, easy to put together and lasts through all of our moves, right? But
Yeah.
the frustration I have is like when you go to these name brand like furniture stores, like that isn't Crate and Barrel where you're paying $10,000 for a sofa cushion, like
Exactly.
you're getting IKEA quality for astronomical prices.
Yeah. And I mean, you can go to the higher tier,
Yeah,
but who has that kind of, I mean,
nobody.
we're in our like late 20s and we don't have that kind of money. Also,
No,
like
yeah.
people who choose to have kids and people who have pets,
Yeah,
like they don't want to spend an arm and a leg on nice furniture and then just have it destroyed.
exactly. Because our cats are pretty good. They don't scratch a lot of the furniture or anything like that because we keep a lot of scratchers. But
Hmm.
like, you never know. They might get a wild hair and be like, "No, I'm gonna destroy this couch."
Yeah. I,
So,
well, and so shout out to IKEA, please sponsor us. I recently bought a couch,
mm,
and it looks beautiful.
hmm,
But the cool thing about this couch, because my cats, the ones tear up the furniture when
yeah,
it's funny because they'll like check out what it is and they'll like
hmm,
scratch it up and then they'll be like, I don't want to see this ever again. And that'll be it. Like it's crazy.
destroy it and be done with it.
Right. So I bought this couch and it's cool because it has a slip cover.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can basically, once they tear up the slipcover, I can just buy a new one for a
Hmm.
fraction of what it costs to get the entire couch and just cover it and it'll look beautiful.
Exactly. That's such a
And
smart thing to
that
do.
is wonderful. And you can change the color if you want to because there's multiple different colors you can buy it in.
You know what? A cheap hack for that I'm taking this to my grandma, but the cheap hack for the slip covers, my grandma would get a queen or full fitted sheet and use that as a cover for the
Nice.
couch. And
Nice.
honestly, it's just as effective for pretty much a little bit cheaper, but maybe the same price, but you can find it really easy and they fit like whatever size couch you
Yeah,
have.
that's fair.
So shout out to fitted sheets doing the work
Yeah.
of a slipcover since how whatever they were founded. Ah, that's brilliant.
So yeah, good news. More IKEAs in your future.
I'm excited for that. We have one close to us that we've never been. Well, no, that's not true. We've been to one of them, but
I
you know.
love going to IKEA. It's like such an experience. I know people are
Mhm.
like, "Oh, your relationship's going to end," but Chris and I have been going to IKEA and doing just fine. So I think that is a testament to our relationship.
We have certainly put quite a few. Okay, so the thing about IKEA, right? I
Yeah,
have to say this. Sorry,
yeah,
you got me
I'm
on a
ready.
tangent. Now I gotta say
I'm
it.
ready.
So the thing about IKEA is once you start putting it together, you have to finish it. Okay. So
Do you mean like the furniture or like,
yes, like
okay,
once you start putting those pieces together, you can't just leave it,
right.
especially if you have animals, because they will take every piece of hardware you've ever owned, and some of them don't even come with all the hardware you need. So there's that. I've experienced that,
Okay.
unfortunately, and some of the holes were not cut to the correct, like they wouldn't fit exactly. So we had to
Mhm.
like bow it, whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. In our 800 square foot apartment in Maryland, we were trying to put together our IKEA TV stand,
Mhm.
and that was the one that didn't exactly fit, so the whole back bowed out like this. But we
Uh-huh.
were thinking, oh my gosh, this is so easy. It's got like a handful of panels, everything's cut out. It's only 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll have this
Oh
done.
no.
We'll have this done in like an hour, hour and a half, like no problem. No, we were arguing until like 9, 10 o'clock at night trying to put this stupid thing together. And realistically, it was not our fault. It was just not lining up, and we didn't have one of the pieces. I forget how we figured that one. Maybe we found the piece. I don't know. Bottom line is insanity. You really have to have a tight relationship and also know you cannot do it in an hour and a half.
So, so, so this is our strategy. Are you ready?
I'm so ready because we have
We
zero strategy.
So the strategy is we go to IKEA together. We walk through all the things. We like have the experience. Maybe we'll even eat like some Swedish meatballs or whatever.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And then I let Chris put everything together.
Our strategy is I do not contribute at all.
That's right.
Tyler could never. He doesn't read directions.
That's the thing though. Chris is like, I am the Tyler in this situation.
Oh.
I don't read the directions and I'm just like, oh, this is good. Let me just do this. And then Chris is like, no, we have to read the directions. We have to go through everything independently. And he's like very organized and methodical about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wonderful for him. And I appreciate that about him. And so therefore I just let him do it. And he's an engineer and they like to put things together. So I don't know.
My goodness. Yeah, no, I would strangle you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we're
Yeah.
friends.
Right. We're never going to have to put furniture together.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. That would be a
Oh.
fun stream. Just watch us put together furniture.
It just
Watch our friendship fall apart in front of you.
it's absolutely collapsing because of an IKEA like bookshelf.
Yeah. It's like, I'm never talking to you again. Bye.
This reminds me I need to replace these bookshelves. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
The whole back is blown out, which is just great.
Oh,
That sounded
super
weird.
fun.
The
Yeah.
back of the bookcase is deteriorating. That's what I meant
Got
to
it.
say.
I got it.
PG. Um,
All right, Kirsten, what are we talking about today?
we're talking about Mars, the hottest planet in our solar system. And I mean that physically.
Oh, okay.
I mean it physically.
Never mind.
Um, okay, so similar to the moon episode, I'm gonna go through a couple of basic facts. We're gonna talk about what it looks like, and then in the second half, we'll talk about formation and exploration. The one caveat I will say is unlike, did I say Mars or Mercury? Because I've been doing this.
You said Mars.
Oh my God, we're talking about Mercury. Okay, so fun fact about this
and then
episode.
it says basic Mars facts.
See, exactly. So let me tell you what happened while I was writing this episode.
Okay.
So I was thinking Mars for no reason at all. And I started doing research about Mars, but I meant Mercury because I'm trying to go in order from
I
closest to the
see.
sun out.
I
And
see.
then I caught myself midway through and I never went back to update the sheet other than the information. So this is going to
So
be a wild ride. I'm going to
so
weeble
what
wobble.
planet are we doing? We're doing Mercury
Mercury,
because
Mercury.
it is the
It
closest to
is
the
the
sun and it
first.
is the first one.
And that's why it's so hot. Yes,
Got it.
Mercury, Mercury,
Okay.
Mercury, Mercury. So
All
if
right,
I,
listener, you keep us straight. You let us know.
yes, don't call me a liar. Just know I've been flip-flopping the names the whole time.
If she says Mars, she
I
doesn't
mean
mean it.
Mercury.
Yeah, she doesn't mean it.
And with that caveat, Mercury in general, and I would say the majority of planets outside of like Mars, the moon, etc., um, they are not as explored. I think a few of them, including Mercury, do have a couple of exploration uh anticipations.
Voyages planned.
Yeah, they've got something planned, but obviously, as you get closer or further from the sun, one, getting there is really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Two, humans getting there is near impossible in some
Mm-hmm.
cases. And three, depending on the technology that we have available, even technological landings, flybys, those kinds of things
Yeah, yeah.
can start to get a little crazy. So there's not going to be as much on the exploration side, but I just wanted to say that in advance. There's a lot less information, as we go through the
Got it.
system. Okay, so basic Mercury facts. It is 36 million miles away from the sun, which is about 59 million kilometers. And I also wanted to give a little insight because we gave this metric from the sun. Maybe it was from Earth. I can't remember the exact metric we used for the moon in terms of distance. But the measurements actually change because if you don't know, the planets are constantly orbiting and
Right.
turning on their axis. And the fun thing about Mercury is instead of going in a complete circle, it actually goes in an egg shape, kind of like an ovular orbit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So depending on where you catch it, it's
correct.
shorter or longer.
So right now, if you go on to NASA's website and you type in Mercury, you're not going to necessarily see 36,793,720 miles away from the sun. You might see that whole number and it's 800 at the end. It just depends on where it is in orbit. And that's something that, I didn't say at the moon, but it's very noticeable for something like Mercury because of its weird orbital pattern.
Yes.
It has a one-way light time to the sun of about 3.29 minutes, and all that means is how long it takes for sunlight to reach the planet Mercury. In this case, it's about 3 minutes. The length of 1 year on Mercury is 88 Earth days. The length of one day is about 59 Earth days for one complete axis rotation. And then it also has something called the length of one solar day, which is just a full day-night cycle, and that's about 176 Earth days. The planet type is terrestrial. For reference, there are 4 different planet types. There's gas giant, which is extremely gassy. Ew. There's also a super
Ugh.
Earth, I know, which is essentially a rocky world or planet that is larger than Earth. Neptune-like, which is also very gassy, but Neptune size. And then
So
terrestrial.
Neptune is just a giant gas ball.
It's real gassy out there, is all I'm saying. Probably smells in space. I don't know. But then terrestrial is just a rocky, physically harsh planet, essentially. So that's what Mercury is terrestrial.
Got it.
Mercury is the first planet in our solar system that we've already said, which means it is also closest to the sun, and it is quite small in terms of planet. It's not dwarf planet such as Pluto, but it's kind of smaller. I would also like to state that NASA did indicate Mercury is the smallest planet. And since we're from the generation that grew up with Pluto as a planet, it will
Oh,
forever be
Pluto.
Pluto for us.
I'm
So that's
gonna be
why
so sad when
I
we
know,
get to Pluto.
I know. I'm still going to do it.
Yeah, you
I'm
should.
still going to do it. It's still a planet to us. But in terms of size, the planet Mercury is only slightly larger than our moon and has a radius of 1,516 miles or 2,439 kilometers. Again, if you want the diameter of that, just times that number by two. Maths. The Mercury planet has 0 moons. It has no rings. Nobody's putting a ring on it. It's just single and mingling. It is unlikely
Yeah,
that
because it's so close to the sun. It's too hot.
it's
It's
too
10
hot to
out of
handle.
10.
10 out
Yeah,
of
that's
10.
right.
I would recommend, but she's single and loving it, you know.
Right, absolutely. She is
um,
a Samantha. You
okay. Just throw that in. If you know the reference, feel free to,
if you know, you know.
if you know,
Yeah.
you know, send us a message. We'd love to
Been
know if you know.
rewatching Sex in the City, by the way.
um, It is unlikely, due to where it is in the system, that any life as we currently know it would survive on Mercury. And that's even outside of being close to the sun. It has a lot of solar radiation, but it also has a lot of extreme temperatures. And that's because instead of an atmosphere, Mercury has an exosphere. And it just creates a lack of heat retention or temperature regulation. It is so aggressive, in fact, that during the day, the temperature can raise up to about 800 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 430 Celsius. But at night, because there's no heat retention like you would have with an atmosphere, it can drop to negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 180 degrees Celsius. So, pretty aggressive.
That's super aggressive. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Um, the actual exosphere is composed of mostly oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium, and potassium. And the exosphere is made up with those elements of the atoms that were blasted off of the surface by solar wind and meteor strikes. So it's created this exosphere essentially by aggressive impacts and solar winds.
Fun.
Yeah, so nice. And then
This sounds like a hellscape, let me tell you.
I want to go there, like right now.
BRB.
BRB, I'll let you know how it is. As I stated previously, it does have an egg-shaped orbit, so it can be as close to the sun as 29 million miles or 47 million kilometers, out to 43 million miles or 70 million kilometers away from the sun. So again, you're going to have that exchange. A Mercury travels about 29 miles or 47 kilometers per second and is the fastest speed of any planet in orbit in our system. Its surface, like I said, is scarred by lots of impact craters, results from collisions with meteors and comets. It has a large impact basin, including Caloris, which is 960 miles or 1,550 kilometers in diameter. And I'm going to butcher this name, so I apologize. The other impact basin is Rachmaninoff.
I was gonna say Rachmaninoff.
Rachmaninoff. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Um, but that one is 190 miles or 306 kilometers in diameter. And both of these were asteroid impacts and were very early into the solar system's history. So it happened a
Nice.
long time ago. Um, there are areas of smooth terrain. There's a couple of cliffs. Some of them are about 100 miles long and they can go very high. And they can rise as the planet's interior, or they rose as the planet's interior cooled and contracted over billions of years as Mercury was forming. And most of Mercury's surface appears kind of this grayish brown color if you're looking at it over, I guess, fields of pictures or something like that we've collected over the years. The bright streaks are called crater rays, and they are formed when an asteroid or comet strikes the surface. That energy that's released from the impact essentially creates the hole in the ground, but also crushes huge amounts of rock, of course, at that point of impact. and those crushed materials are thrown from the crater and then begin to fall back down to the surface, creating the rays. And also probably essentially adding to that exosphere, because again, that was created from impact as well and probably contributes. And then those fine particles of crushed rock are really reflective. So you might even see the rays kind of look like brighter streaks across the planet, is what I'm assuming. And then the dust and solar wind kind of darken with time, of course, because they're being either pushed away, moved around, or brought back to the planet's surface.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah, that is what it looks like and some basic information about it. We'll talk more about formation in the second half. It's very brief, but we'll save it for the other side.
Don't put your Mercury in the microwave. We'll be right back.
Very nice segue.
Man, I'm glad this podcast is halfway over.
Me too. I'm not sure I'm even going to make it through the second half at this rate.
It's a good thing they call this mediocre content. That way the public knows what they're signing up for before they even start listening.
I feel like the listener deserves a more direct warning about the true mediocrity of this podcast.
Agree. Let's send them into the second half with a real disclaimer.
Mediocre content is far more mediocre than you think. If you think that's what's good for you, you listen at your own risk and moderation. We, the husbands of the mediocre content podcast hosts, do not recommend you listen to our wives week after week and instead suggest small regular doses of their mediocrity at any given time. We should know. We live with them. All mediocre content podcast listening is at your own risk. Good luck.
And welcome back. You can now take the Mercury out of the microwave. I don't even know why you decided that would be a great segue, but I'm gonna.
You loved it.
I'm gonna embrace it.
You ate it up. You loved it.
Can't help but chuckle just a little bit. Okay, on to formation. Like I said before the break, it's very, very brief. It's a total of 3 lines. So here we go. So Mercury, as far as we know, was formed about 4.5 billion years ago when gravity pulled swirling gas and dust together to form this itty bitty little planet that is now Mercury. Like its fellow terrestrial planets, Mercury does have a central core, a rocky mantle, and a solid crust. However, it did not expand on this information as much as it did with the moon information, and my guess is there just hasn't been a lot of exploration around it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just not as exciting, I guess, to
maybe
discuss.
Not. Yeah.
It did not go into as much depth as it did with the moon, but that's okay. It does have the same 3 core elements.
I would say it's probably just lack of knowledge.
Yeah, has to be.
Also, this is a small tangent, but like have you seen those comparisons of like between million and billion? And like how million is here. Let me give you an example.
Okay. I mean, I know the difference between a million and a billion.
Yeah. So, but like the amount that billion is so much more than million,
okay. Okay. I don't know that. I also hate math, so I wouldn't.
Hold on. I'm pulling it up right now.
Pull it up. Singing a tune while Blair does the research.
I'm sorry. I just need to go on this tangent for a second.
There's nothing like a mid-pod lookup,
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
It needs to happen. Doesn't help that my internet is being glacially slow. All right.
I mean, we're using half of it just to record right now.
You're right. You're right. Okay, so like, for example, 1 million seconds is about 11 days. Okay.
1 billion seconds.
1 million seconds.
Oh, 1 million.
1 million seconds is about 11 days.
Okay.
1 billion seconds is about 31.5 years.
Oh!
See, it's different. And I feel like people don't understand like how drastically different it is.
Insanity. Oh my God.
Right? I saw that the other day and it like blew my mind. So I just wanted, so when she says 4.5 billion years,
True. It's a long
when Mercury
time.
formed, it's a long time.
And that's in years, not seconds.
That's right.
Yeah, that's incredibly long. I mean,
So
yeah, that's true.
just
Well,
to put it in perspective, just adding a little bit.
adding a little bit of existential crisis, I guess.
Just a little. It's fine.
And we're just brushing the surface.
But then if you apply it to like millionaires versus billionaires,
it's incredibly different.
That's all I'm saying.
Actually, the next tangent we should go on is looking up how many billionaires there are in the world. That would be nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We should talk about that.
I have some strong like thoughts about that.
Jot it down. It's an episode.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll talk about it later.
Millions and billions is what we'll call it.
Yes. Continuing on.
Okay. All right. So exploration. So the reason that we probably don't know as much as we would like to know is exactly because of this section right here. I know you can't see the cheat sheet that we created, but there is a total of like 5 or 6 points in this whole exploration section. So it's also very minimal. It's hard to get to, and the planet itself is not conducive for human research, which means whatever we do has to be able to withstand those extreme temperature variations, whatever weather happens with solar winds, with the like there's lots of factors, right?
Too hot to handle.
So with that said, because Mercury is so close to the sun, it is hard to directly observe from Earth, except during dawn or twilight when the sun's brightest and doesn't outshine Mercury. 13 times each century. So how much is a century, Blair?
100 years.
Very good. So
do I get a candy now?
No, I can't give you anything.
Sad.
No. So 13 times every 100 years, observers on Earth can watch Mercury pass across the face of the sun. An event called a transit. 13 times every 100 years. That's incredible. And it rightly says these rare transits fall within several days of May 8th and November 10th, which is a pretty big span of months, to be fair, within those 13 times.
Yeah.
Previous transits have occurred May 7, 2003, November 8th, 2006, May 9th, 2016, and the most recent one was November 11th, 2019. So, pre-spacecraft events include 1631, which I'm looking at this date now going 1631 is incredible. And I'm just in awe of it. But there were 2 individuals, one you've probably heard of, one you might not have, but there's Thomas Harriot and Galileo Galilei. They observed Mercury with the newly invented telescope at the time, and then in that same year, Pierre Gassendi used a telescope to watch from Earth as Mercury crossed the face of the sun. So that was one of the transits.
Do you think it's fair to say they had no idea what they were looking at, but they just wrote it down?
Potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Unless they named it also.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't look into that.
I just think it's funny if you think about it. They're just like, oh, look at this thing is happening.
Look at that.
We're going to look at it and we're going to write it down.
Exactly.
And now everyone will also know.
Science.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to look at it and write it down. That's exactly what science is. Full scope. Accurate. Okay, and then a big leap. So unless my dates are wrong, it went from 1631 to 1965, which is a huge leap in terms of information on Mercury, right? Yes. It was incorrectly believed for centuries that the same side of Mercury would always face the sun. However, astronomers using radar during that year found that the planet does in fact rotate 3 times for every 2 orbits.
Oh,
So wrap
so
your
it's
mind around that.
slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's slow, but it's fast, right? Because it's also the fastest planet in our solar system.
Oh, yeah, because the route is smaller.
Yes.
Even though, yeah. Mhm.
Correct. Yes. It's just, it makes my brain itch, not in a good way.
Can you imagine if it was just one side?
Oh my God.
Back half of that planet.
Like the moon.
Like roasting.
The dark side of the moon.
Yeah. It would be like a burnt marshmallow.
Oh my goodness. It really would. You got to cook it evenly.
Right.
Okay. From 1974 to 1975, Mariner, which was I believe a telescope, if I'm not mistaken, Mariner 10 photographs roughly half of Mercury's surface during 3 individual flybys, so maybe it's not. We sent it out, I guess. And then 1991, scientists used Earth-based radar to find signs of ice that were locked in permanently shadowed areas of craters at Mercury's polar regions. So, interesting. Again, that water thing that we talked about with the moon, kind of the first thing that we look for when we're thinking about, oh, could we live here? However, I feel like the heat and temperature diversity would probably be a better indicator than water.
I think we'd have to rule that out. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, unless we had like climate controlled, but like if anything happened to that, it would just
you're
be
dead.
Done. Super dead.
Just, like you wouldn't just be dead, you would be crispied. Okay.
Crispy, yeah. Or frozen. Either one. It just depends on the time of day.
Or you would be in your own ice age. It would be like when oh my gosh, when that squirrel has to defrost in Ice Age.
Yeah, it would be like that.
It would be just like that. And then you would immediately fry. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Okay, so the first spacecraft, which I answered my own question just now, to visit Mercury was NASA's Mariner 10. Previous to that, it just did those 3 flybys, but it imaged about 45% of the surface, like we talked about. But then NASA's Messenger spacecraft flew by Mercury also 3 times and orbited the planet for 4 years before crashing on the surface, which was, of course, the end of that mission immediately.
Yeah.
Just want to be very clear. So from 2008 to 2009, Messenger observed Mercury with those 3 flybys. 2011 is when it began that orbital mission. Apparently, it provided tons of images and compositional data, which led to what little we do know about Mercury. And then in 2015, it deliberately crashed into Mercury after using all of its propellant and subsequently ending its mission.
You ran out of gas.
And which is so sad because there's so many gassy planets out there that you would assume he could have just stopped for fuel.
I know. Also, anyway. This is probably a super dumb question, but like, what if the Messenger was like solar powered? Because I feel like,
oh my gosh, that's so smart though.
I mean, because then it's so close to the sun, you would never run out of stuff.
Like, and it takes 3 minutes. Again, going back to the first half, it takes 3 minutes for the sun's rays to reach Mercury, which means if it's orbiting Mercury, it should take significantly less time, technically, to reach. Oh, I thought about that.
Yeah, and obviously they know everything that like can withstand that kind of heat.
That's fair. Yeah, well, because it orbited for 4 years, so it withstood technically. You know, that's a great question. Maybe we didn't have that technology yet. I don't know.
I
find that hard to believe,
2015. Or well, I guess they launched it. When did they launch it?
I think they
in like
launched
2008.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I mean, we've had solar for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm sure there's like some really specific
reasons.
Scientific reason, but I just feel like that would make the most sense.
That would make the most sense, especially for this planet.
Or,
and maybe
you know,
Venus.
It could be that, sorry to interrupt you.
No.
It could be that the solar panels that we currently have just can't withstand like that much power in general.
It's true.
So I don't know. Anyway,
Also, I
it's a
guess
thought.
even if it was generating, it's like, how do you store that much energy?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It
exactly.
would have to be
Aggressive.
a lot. Yeah.
Mhm. Good questions, though. I think that's
Yeah.
a fair question. And maybe, I'm sure, I mean, there's scientists that are like world renowned, so I'm sure they're far smarter than us, but I agree that
Yeah.
it could be an option. Maybe.
Could be. Maybe.
Um, so after the 2015 crash, the European Space Agency and JAXA launched a joint mission to Mercury in 2018 called Bepi Colombo, which is really fun to say. And it was made. I know, that's exactly what I thought of too. It's made of two spacecrafts. The European Space Agency built the main spacecraft, the Mercury Planetary Orbiter, which is a mouthful, and then JAXA supplied the Mercury Magnetospheric Orbiter, which is an even bigger mouthful. But I'm going to call it Bepi for short. So Bepi captured its first views of Mercury during a flyby October 1, 2021. So keep in mind, the mission launched in 2018. First flyby didn't happen until 2021. Just want to keep you on track with dates. And then a total of 9 flybys were planned, helping to steer the spacecraft into orbit in late 2025. That's the anticipation. But it will begin its primary science mission in early 2026. So we haven't hit that yet. It's just starting to do its first little orbits and try and get in the swing of things, literally. And then we should start having data come through over the next, 3-ish years, 2-3 years. And that's it. That's all that we know.
Hold on.
Holding. What am I holding?
Okay. I just wanted to see how long it would take to get from Earth to Mercury.
How long does it take?
40 days.
Oh, 40 days
Which
and
is-
40 nights.
Which, I mean, honestly, does
Biblical.
not... Yeah. I mean, that seems reasonable. I was going to...
Yeah.
For some reason, my brain was like, it takes 75 years.
Honestly, the most exciting, not to get ahead of ourselves because this is the first planet in the system, right? But I am super excited to explore questions like that for Pluto because as you'll see, or as you'll hear, I guess for some of you, Blair can see me, but you won't. As you'll hear over these solar series episodes, obviously, as you are closer to Earth, it's easier to explore. Hence, Mars is one of our playgrounds at this point in terms of information.
Yeah. Sure.
And then, of course, the opposite is true. The farther you are, the more difficult it is to even get craft to you. So Mercury is only, 40 days, like you said, from Earth, but there's only one planet in between, and that's Venus.
That's true.
You
You're
know,
right.
but you think about Earth to Pluto, Mars, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, you have so many in between that are larger, significantly so in the case of Jupiter, for example, that make it even more difficult to get crafts and missions launched. So, and it takes time. So even if they were to launch, in 2008, there's nothing that says that spacecraft wouldn't still be in voyage to Pluto. It just depends,
Right. Yeah. I think about, because I think about Interstellar too, and they have to go into that like hyper chamber or whatever so that they don't age too rapidly to get to the other galaxies or whatever it is, the black hole or whatever. And that's like
horrifying. Yeah. So just a little perspective, and a little bit of existential crisis for this episode.
I mean, whenever I think too hard about space, I have an existential crisis.
It's like hard.
I'm like, nope, we're just gonna talk about the planets and it's gonna be a fun time. And then
I love planets.
Meanwhile, we are just like black hole.
Black hole. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible, but also fascinating at the same time.
It is. Yeah. It's true.
But that's all I have this week.
I love that for us. Thank you so much for sharing.
You are so welcome. Thank you, NASA, for sharing. So I'm just gonna stick with this. So anytime I'm doing an episode until we've at least finished the planets, this is what I'm gonna be doing.
So expect a lot of planet content. I'll be mixing it up though. So just keep that in mind.
You'll have it.
If you're not a space person,
yeah,
just wait till next week and then we'll move it right along. But that will wrap up for us today. Feel free to send us an email with any questions, comments, or episode topic suggestions at mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a tweet at Mediocre Squawks or follow us on Instagram at Mediocre Content Podcast, and we will see you next week. Cheers!